Yo, what's up people, it's your boy P, also known as Captain P67. We're back at it with another God build video for you today. And we are going to be doing a build that's kind of end game builds, which I've been using hell of a lot. And I'll be going through the skills and everything on the stream. Now the build itself, it's the most powerful poison impact charge blade in the game. Now if you are going for more kind of damage and numbers, element is where it's at by far. In the game, element is king. So you do want to kind of build for element on this game. However, if you kind of learning the game and you want one weapon that does everything and you can kind of farm that, this is literally the perfect kind of build you want. It's a poison 4A build which has everything in there. I've kept some of the skills on the screen, but I'll go for all the skills for everybody. Since Monster Hunter has a new fan base with it just being released on all platforms, plus some of the OGs are kind of like making end gun builds with extra stuff. But when I show you this build and talk you through this build, you'll see for yourself. Not only is it crazy with the damage numbers, but it also has poison as well. So you're constantly doing DPS overall. And again, if you see the clips at the start of the stream, you can see how much damage numbers. One of the clips, in a small amount of ticks, I did over 2,000 damage. Most SADs will hit for like 1,200, 1,400, sometimes 1,700. However, a key thing to point out is the update just dropped. And with the new update, you're going to get more buffs. So I haven't actually tested. So those clips you're going to see are prior to update. And I am actually already on level 203 now on the anomaly quest. So I will be upgrading the weapon. So I might just do an updated version of this build. But for now, you can see where it's at prior to that. So the number's already good. But with the update happening and some of the buffs happening, and I got a level 6 upgrade on my weapon. So if you go look at the new Curious Armor Crafting now, they've upgraded it. So all your weapons get extra buffs on top, especially with Raw and a few other things. So this is the weapon we're going to be using. The Malefico Veil Plus, and I haven't seen a single person use this charge blade. It's absolutely beautiful. Good looking weapon, does a lot of damage, and I'll go through it with you. So as you can see, prior to the update you can only go to level 5, but as the title update just dropped yesterday, if you haven't gone to my YouTube channel already, I already fought Velkhana first try, beat it. I've already beat Valstrax as well, that was off stream, first try, beat that, but the Velkhana run is there for you. But I got to level 5, so it had all the bonuses. However, on level 6, this will give you additional 10. So all the numbers you see in the video will be a lot stronger, a lot more. And plus, you get all these extra buffs from these levels now of Raw. So you get an extra Raw on top. So at the moment, it's looking like, with adding this on top, it'll take me to 400 on base. So without further ado, let's get into the skills quickly. I'll talk you through all the skills and we'll get through it top to bottom. And we'll go off here. So for the newer players, I'll read the skill itself and I'll just quickly go about the skill itself. Then the veteran players can kind of skip through because you're probably going to know all these anyway. But it's good for everybody. So what's dope about the build is itself. We've gone for Agitator for a reason. Not only does Agitator give you extra attack on top, so we get extra 20% attack. Well, not even 20%. We get extra 20 attack on top. Plus 15% affinity, which will go towards your crits. Now we got crit boost level 3, which is the maximum crit boost you can have. So any sort of critical hits increases damage dealt by critical hits to 40%. So again, that's 40%, not just 40 attacks, 40%. It's a lot of extra damage. Now we've got Weakness Exploit 3, which is also known as WEX in abbreviation. That gives you 50% base affinity. So again, that's 50%, so that's quite a lot. Stamina Surge, very good and very important, especially when using a weapon with shields. If you're blocking a lot. I've also linked in my Twitch for you as well. So for example, when you're fighting someone like Silver Rathalos who hits you with a mega bomb and mega bombs constantly, you can actually block with this build and tank the whole thing. You're perfectly fine. You can tank Flaming Espinas's Mega Explosion. You probably have a little bit of HP left, but you can tank the whole thing. I've done it all on stream. Plus, with the Stamina Surge, you can tank a lot of stuff in general. So stamina is very important when you have a shield sort of weapon. If your stamina goes, you get hit, you will get carted. So it's very important to keep that going. On top of all that, we got Offensive Guard level 3. So you get 15. Again, very key. It's not attack of 15, it's 15% buff. So what you can do is you can create all your buffs off the build, which is insane, and then use Offensive Guard with a retaliation of an SAD or a block SAD in return. Get your Offensive Guard and boost up everything by 15% on top of that at the end. So you always want to use Offensive Guard at the end for your buffs, which is amazing. We've also got Artillery level 3, which also increases the power of each attack by 30% and reduces women's fire cooldown. The first part's the only important part for this. Artillery level 3, we're getting extra 30% on SADs. Now, in the clips previously posted, you can see some of the SADs hitting for 190. SAEDs, I should say, I'm not in SADs. SAEDs, super amped elemental discharge, just for those people that don't know. But some of them hit for 190. On average, I'd say some are hitting for 180, 165, depending on what procs you get. But obviously with this obviously buffs it up. And then with the new addition of all those extra attacks, all those numbers will go way higher. But like I said before, each attack roughly is doing about 1.2k to 1.7k. Sometimes it goes over 2k damage. A lot of damage in such a short space of time. So it does a lot of damage. Then we got Chameleon's Blessing level 3. So also extends the duration of your poison effect on monsters. So if you affect a monster, you infect it for longer than you normally do. And poison can stack, which is a little bit different. So before poison you couldn't stack. Now you can stack poison. So you can poison a monster, keep attacking it, and stack enough poison for the next poison to kick in. And with Chameleon's Blessing kicking in, you can do more poison on top as well for longer duration of that. So it's going to be a non-stop kicking in, and it does 30 ticks per second in the battle. So while you're, even if you're sheathing, you're doing damage to the monster. Even if you're blocking or taking any sort of meds, you know, any sort of potions, while you're healing, the monster's going to take damage. It might not seem like a lot, but 30 ticks over each second definitely stacks up. So you can do your calculations over a minute, how much that is, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, depending on how long your hunt goes for. But as long as you can keep hitting the monster, you'll get that poison effect kicking in all the time. And that will buff up your foray, which we'll get to in a second. Now, this is very dope. Adrenaline Rush is one of the strongest in the game for buffing up your damage overall. So once you perform a perfectly timed evade, just as a monster attacks for a temporary attack boost, it's one of the longest boosters in the game. I think it's either 30 seconds or 60 seconds for the buff. But in the clips I've already shown you as well at the start of the video, I've shown you how easy it is to proc this, and you can constantly proc this throughout the fight. So you can just roll out of a fireball, even across the map. You can roll past the fire and just like get it buffed and attached to you, and it's friggin' insane. So you get attack plus 30 on top. So you do all your other stuff. So your agitator will stack up, your offensive guard will stack up, your adrenaline rush will stack up. But wait, there's more. So on top of all that, we also have actually my fault, I might have just skip that quickly. This is very important as well. Rapid morph 3 on switch axes. Now, some people have so-called skipped this on impact charge blades, but not at all. Rapid morph, speed plus 30%, plus morph attack damage, and 20%. Again, those key numbers, 30% plus 20%. So again, more damage and crazy damage. Plus you're going a lot quicker, especially with your counter SAEDs as well. So when you block and counter guard, you proc your offensive guard, and your morph attacks will be a lot quicker, doing more SADs over time, doing more DPS over time. So definitely important to have that level 3. Adrenaline Rush we covered already. Now this is a super dope skill as well. So when targeted by a monster, that monster becomes more likely to become enraged, but increases your own defense as well. That's a shorter version of it. So what we've got included, Agitator is what makes the monster, when the monster's angry, you'll get those buffs. So you get the 20 attack on top, plus you get a 15% affinity. Embolden actually forces a monster to get angry and enraged, so that kind of syncs in with Agitator perfectly. So you can walk near a monster, the Agitator will kick in, you'll get your buffs off that, you'll get extra affinity buffs off the Agitator, you'll get your Embolden. Now the dopest thing about Embolden at this level is as well, not only will you get defense plus 40 on top, but you also get evasion as well. So you get extended evasive moves, so you get more iframes for dodging. So it syncs in perfectly. And with Charge Blade, you want to be kind of up close to the monster to get your main sort of files first, doing the regular damage. And some of the hits hit up to 100, 200. Again, in those clips, you can see how much damage you do. Parts broken. And I'll go through how ridiculous it is. But it's just, everything is in sync with everything. And this is a very meticulous build. It is a true endgame build, so it is going to be difficult to reciprocate from anybody. But you can change the decorations as you wish. And obviously, you can play the game as you wish as well. But again, I've tested it. I've done it on stream. I've done all the 200 hunts, so I've done the anomaly quest at 200. I had to do 25-minute Ratley's quest. I was kind of just messing around, trolling, trying different things. I've done it in 25 minutes, you know, pretty much flush. If you're obviously taking it serious, you can do it a lot quicker and do more damage overall. Also, we got a burst 3 as well on top. Now, people say it's a trap at level 1, 2, and 3. But if you can add 15 attack on top, why not? And that's what burst does. I believe at level 1 it does 10. At level 2 it does 12, at level 3 it does 15 on top attack. So upon attack, so continuously landing hits gradually increases attack and elemental attack. This is a status build, so you obviously got a lot of raw plus the poison. So you want obviously mainly regular attack. So if you can get more damage, you can get more damage. And if you also watch the clip at the start where I do over 2,000 damage, all those ticks across the monster, that's what burst does. It just procs everything, things explode, and just mega damage. Now we got guard up as well, which I mentioned earlier. So certain attacks like Ratley's Mega Explosion, even at Anomaly Investigation at 150 plus. I've done it at 200, I've done it at like 175, 150. You can literally block all the fireballs, all the attacks, Flaming Espinas, Chameleon's hitting you. Even with the new Valstrax, you can block with it with Guard 2, but you will still take a lot of damage, just as a heads up. That just dropped, so as a warning, you can pretty much block everything in the game, but again, it depends on your stamina, which I mentioned, plus your HP as well. So you don't want to be guarding too much of these higher levels, because you will get carted if you're not careful. Also with this we have load shells, so improves reload and increases the gun lance's shell capacity and charge blade's fire capacity. So I believe as we're going for ticks at SAEDs when we're hitting, you're going to see different numbers from different builds from different people. But with this you're always going to get the max amount. So I believe it's capped at 6, I believe. And you can see like stacks of 6. So for example, we're hitting 480 on each SAED. So you're going to get like 5 or 6 extra 100. You're going to get extra 5 or 6 180 extra ticks on top of your main damage. So again, it all just stacks up, so it's definitely worth having in there. We got flinch free as a bonus. Again, it's kind of perfect because you don't even get knocked over when you perform an SAED in a group hunt or anything like that. And in the clips at the start of the video, I've included solo hunts as well as multiplayer hunts, and we're still hitting mega damage and mega numbers. But with this, you obviously won't be getting knocked over. This is actually added bonus, so we weren't planning to use this as a tool. However, when you're fighting someone like Seragios at like level 200, they will hit you for a bleed proc. And again, this will increase your damage overall. The more damage you do off base, the more SAD damage you will do, SAED damage. So again, it's based off your numbers, but again, with Agitator kicking in, Adrenaline Rush kicking in, 4A kicking in, those numbers will just boost up. So you'll be doing mega damage off your normal hits. Even if you're not hitting any of the SAEDs, your normal hits will do a lot of mega damage, cause the monster to exhaust, you'll break a lot of parts, and you do a lot of damage in general. And I've also included a clip for you where I knocked a Ratley out the sky with a jumping triangle attack with a spin up with 3 blades, and that's another way to proc the monster. So if you don't feel like the weapon's hitting for enough poison, just use that move and you kind of poison monsters pretty much instantly every time. I don't know what the key reason for that is, but it's just an amazing attack, big numbers, and I hit 405 with 1 attack in midair as well. It's so dope. And you can use it with Axe Hopper as well. And then we got the quick sheath, which is a bonus. It's not a necessity, I say, but obviously if you can speed up your weapon sheathing, why not? Charge blade is a very slow weapon sheathing, so if you can add anything to it, why not? But this is, like I said, is a very meticulous build, so I've covered all angles, so it does mega damage, has great sort of resources to make it viable and fun to use, and on top of that, it's got everything you need to survive as well. And we also got sluggery involved as well, so if you know about Impact Charge Blade, they do try and say get 1 point of stun. Now, in the clip before I did at the start, again, I've knocked out Seragios at the sky, and you get up to 5 KOs, I believe. Maybe some say 6, maybe with a bit of tech or higher slugger you probably get 6, but on an average hunt, whenever I take this to anomaly investigation with group hunts, I'm knocking the monster over, sometimes 3 times back to back to back. I've done that today on today's stream, sometimes 2 in a row. But again, a knockdown is a knockdown, makes a big difference. You can do a lot more damage, pop off another SAED, again, another 1.2k damage. If you're going for the Axe Hopper, another 1.7k damage in an instant once you knocked them down. But this is definitely a great thing to have on Impact Charge Blade. Now, if you're talking about survivability, I got kind of lucky. Even before this last update and the last update before that, I went on the Curious Armor crafting and I literally got blood right on my arm after about 10 rolls. I don't know how I got so lucky, but I got it, so I didn't need the decoration. And again, this is before this title update came out. This title update has come out and you do have blood right from the last update, but it's got new gem slots and a lot of stuff now. I also tried to see if I could replicate that, so I went to Curious Armor Craft and I actually built another piece and got blood right on that piece as well. So it's not that difficult to get, and I don't think these builds are that difficult to get as long as you just start rolling and farming, and that's the whole point of the game. So we got Spirit Bird's Call as well, so receive the effects of random Spirit Birds at fixed intervals. Now again, if you don't know a map and if you're kind of just running new to an area, you don't really need to even farm for the Spirit Birds. You can just go on your hunts as you normally do, even if it's a lower one. The Spirit Birds will come to you eventually and top up all your HP and your stamina and everything you need. But again, if you're quite potent and like more of a veteran in the game, you can just click your main Spirit Birds, get a bit of HP, go straight into the fight. While you're fighting the monster, you'll end up getting maximum on everything anyway. So I definitely advise getting this if you're new. And also for some of the speedrunners, they don't really collect Spirit Birds to start off with anyway, but they might want to get it. Now, like I said before, this isn't the so-called meta, because the meta at the moment is Element. So I'm not here to say that this is the meta and this is better than the Element. If you're going to build for Element, because that's the most powerful. But that's very specific to each monster. And again, it's a lot of farming and hunting and putting a lot of builds together for each individual hunt if you want to be optimal. Which is long term, which is fine. But this covers everything. So you could literally make this build or something similar to this. Farm the whole game, which I've been doing from like master rank, whatever. An anomaly quest from 50 all up to 200. I've literally used this build and just dominated and done damage. And most hunts for a multiplayer can take 8 to 9 minutes in a good group. And then longer hunts, even solo, can take like 12 to 15 minutes on a casual average hunt as well. Now, if you're talking about sharpening, the new update has given you extra sharpening on top, which I didn't mention. It gives you new buffs. However, blade scale hone, I've also included the clips at the start of the video. Very easy to proc. While you're in the middle of a fight, just get a few dodge rolls in. You'll keep that sharpness up. When I was very focused on what I was doing, my blade scale hone, I kept my sharpness up to white in a fight at the start of the first couple of sections. But when you get a bit unfocused, you can get to blue sharpness, which still isn't bad because, again, you're going more off your SAED damage. However, even at blue sharpness, you're still doing mega damage. And I've even gone to green on stream just to show it. You still have how you can still get numbers of 100, 200 plus on top. But again, with this, you can use this. However, if you want to use more of a spinning axe style, or as they call it, the Peter cut style, you can change this to protective polish if you wish. So I've left slots available on the build, so you can still change things around to suit how you want to play and how your build works. Everyone plays different, and obviously the builds are different for everybody. Now, on top of all the extra great stuff we got on top, I did mention about the poison. Now, most weapons, if you know how poison status works, it will only do 1 poison tick per 3 attacks. So if you're hitting the monster for 3 hits, only 1 will roughly trigger for that poison to build that poison up. However, if you're using status trigger, so perform a perfectly timed evade just as a monster attacks to trigger up the normal status build upon hit. Once you do this for 5 seconds, you'll get every single hit you do will infect the monster with poison. So 1 roll, as shown in the video at the start, just go ham on the monster. You'll end up getting it procced. And again, I've procced everything on stream. So we procced Velkhana, new monster just came out. I procced Velkhana. I proc Rathalos on poison. So-called monsters that can't be poisoned still be poisoned apparently. And I can't recall a monster I haven't poisoned in a battle. If there's one, I may have made a mistake, but you can go through the stats and check them yourselves, and you can check this build out. And a similar 4A build, anything with poison. If there is certain monsters that can't be poisoned whatsoever, let me know. But from my end, I've literally poisoned everything I've fought, and it's not been an issue. And again, once you poison monsters, that's when the 4A kicks in. So again, you're going to be doing, once a monster is poisoned, you do an extra 15 on top, 15 attack on top of that, and your affinity is plus 20. Now with this build, we have got an affinity of 75 off base. So you could go for more critical expert if you wanted to, but I've got everything maxed out and it hits at 75, and we're literally proccing off crits up all the time really for you. So I've gone through obviously the build itself. I'm going to quickly go through the armor sets and its quickly status. So I'll just remove this so you could see it for yourself. Let's move this, pow, and let's scroll this up to the top. And there we go. So from here, I'll go to the armor set for you. And this is what we used. So like I said before, we use a Malefical Veil Plus. Again, all these builds are original. I literally go through all the weapons and check the whole tech myself. I've not seen a single person use this charge blade. It's an amazing charge blade. It has very high base raw at 350, which is insane. It has a good amount of white sharpness and a good amount of blue without anything. But again, you can add protective polish on top to make it longer lasting for sharpness if you wish. All blade scale on, as I said and I showed you in the video, the benefits of. So again, build it how you want to play it. The poison is decent at 25. It's not super low, it's not super high. But again, when you start hitting, it procs everything pretty much. And I've not had an issue of proccing anything. It comes with 2 level 1 slots, but that kind of works out perfect. Since we're using Chameleon's Blessing, they come with 1 slots anyway. The Rampage decoration is pretty dope. It's got a defense edge. So in the weapon itself, like I said, we've got Chameleon's Blessing 1, we've got Spirit Bird's Core 1. We've gone for a defense edge. Now, as I mentioned at the start, when you're blocking Silver Rathalos' attacks, Mega Fireballs, he spammed about 15 attacks, Flaming Espinas, Rathalos' fire, all of them, you won't lose any sharpness whatsoever. And that's what I'm saying about the sharpness. Not really an issue. I've not really had it where I've either gone past, I haven't literally gone past green sharpness in any hunt whatsoever, and I'm on level 203 in Anomaly Investigations. So I've done hella runs and I've never had an issue with it whatsoever. But again, if you do feel that you are, maybe just go for protective polish or change your playstyle a bit. And also, you want to get better at the game, so dodging will be better for you. Now, we've gone for the Golden Loon Helm, which comes with status trigger 4-8 burst. You can ignore the crit boost and the adrenaline rush on top because those are the gems, but I'll go through this quickly. So I've augmented that for, we lost 1 status trigger, because with status trigger 2, you do get 8 seconds, but it's only 3 seconds more than 5 seconds, so one thing you might want to do if you're curious, always pick out armor pieces that have like a skill that you might not want and go for the sacrifice ones. You end up getting way better skills and you sometimes get double. So Golden Loon Helm is a helmet we used. We used the Onmyo Kariguni, and we got this for, it's got a 3 slot, a 2 slot and a 1 slot. And we got Slugger as well as Offensive Guard, so that's really dope. And again, you can see the gems and decorations we've used. We got Onmyo Teku, which we've also got load shells on there as well. So that's the augment status we got on here. And again, you can see the artillery, critical and chain. And we've got Onmyo Atiobo, and we've got Adrenaline Rush on the augment for this as well. And then for the last piece, we got really lucky for this. I sacrificed a flinch 3, and this is what I was explaining. Flinch 3 for me personally, I don't need it. So if there's any sort of armor piece or something that you might not need all 3, just sacrifice it and just try it out. You can always build another piece and go back to it. But I actually got Blood Dry out of it and Resentment, so that Resentment will do more damage when we're taking a bleeding proc. And then I got super lucky, but I also showed this on YouTube when I done this live on stream, a talisman. But I actually got this talisman off stream, so I'm not sure how lucky this is, but for me it's pretty lucky. I got Rapid Morph level 3 with the 2 slots, and I showed this on stream. And we've obviously got Quick Sheath on there as well. Sorry, we done the one on stream with this, the same one, but I had Wind on there, Wind Mantle or something, or just 1 level of Wind. But then I rolled it off stream, or I did this one on stream, and I got Rapid Morph 3 and Quick Sheath, so we got super lucky with this. However, I actually rolled a new talisman the other day off stream, which has Rapid Morph 2, 3 levels, so it started off with attack actually, 3 levels of attack, Rapid Morph 2 with a 3 slot, which is dope. So I might be looking to do something with that as well. But I will be making God builds for all the weapons per se, and different sorts of original builds that no one's really doing, and maxed out as well. So again, it's very meticulous builds, a lot gone into it, a lot of work, a lot of time. But if you are farming for curio and you're trying to build, basically always try and get your decorations as your S-class tiers. So your load shells and your artillery and attack boost, you want to get on the pieces, the decorations. And then when you're rolling, sacrifice a bad skill, and you sometimes get 2 decent skills, which is better. Then you can fit more slots in. Hence, you can get 2 2s. So again, for something like this, we got Offensive Guard is actually a 3 gem slot. It's very expensive to use in a build. However, I got Offensive Guard and Slugger. Slugger is a level 2, I believe. So that's a 3 and a 2 slot in one build. So it saved me 2 pieces. Hence why we got so much in the build. So yeah, there you go, folks. That's obviously the God build for you. Again, if you want to see the actual numbers more in action, you can watch the Twitch streams. I've got the links in the description below. But like I said before, when you add all these stacking together, it's absolutely insane. You don't have to change anything for each individual monster. There's very few monsters that are very afflicted by poison, so it does work better on them. But as overall numbers go, if you want to be doing SAEDs, hitting for 1.2k or 1.4k or 1.8k, and sometimes doing over 2,200 damage off a few ticks of damage in a matter of seconds, this is definitely your go-to build. If you're obviously going for meta, definitely, like I said, don't try and build something like this. Go for the meta sets. If you are going for meta or speedrunner, go for Element, because Element is king, and it will be for a while, I believe. And if you want me to do an Element build, I can easily do that as well. But I just, like I said, I like to make original builds, something different, something unique, and I'll put the work in for you and done all my testing. So yeah, there you go, folks. That's the God build for you. So again, make sure you check out the links in the description below. I've included all the footage for you at the start as well, so you can see what you're kind of working with. And if you want to see any more kind of builds or any tips or tricks, let me know. And I stream every day on Twitch. I do carries for the community for Monster Hunter, just like I've done with Outriders and some of the other community games I've done. So if you need any help on Monster, if you're new, let me know. Again, you can see on the right, I'm on Anomaly Research 204, Master Rank is 329. And yeah, anyone that needs a carrier help, just join the stream. The links will be in the description below for you. So if you want to do anything or donate or sub from there as well, you can. And that covers everything. But again, I appreciate all the time, all the patience. We've gone through a lot, but I wanted it to be clear for everybody. So newer players with advanced players, and something original for you. So yeah, enjoy, test out the builds, let me know how you get on. And if you got any questions, hit me up. But on that note, thanks for your time, thanks for everything, and have a good day. And I'll catch you folks on the next content. Take it easy. Peace out.